Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mr. Rogers LT. Today we are going to do another unboxing on the channel. Today we are unboxing this bad boy right here in front of us, the Scuf Prestige. Now this is a Scuf controller for the Xbox One. If you have a PlayStation 4, this isn't going to work for you. However, this is my first ever Scuf controller, and I am super excited to be able to use it very, very soon. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's unbox this baby. Alright, so the first thing, it has this little kind of sleeve on it. You can see it's right here. The back of it kind of looks like that. So that is a sleeve, and then you have this nice, really high quality box. Right here you can see the Scuf Gaming logo right on it. So we're going to have to slide this off. Now I personally struggle with these types of boxes just because, but it looks like it's kind of coming a little bit easier today. And there we go. And there it is, the controller itself. So the really cool thing about Scuf controllers is you can custom make them. So this is what I chose for mine to look like, but your Scuf Prestige could look completely different than this. Everything on this controller, let me take it out of there for you real fast. So everything on this controller, I basically chose. I chose what the faceplate looked like. I chose what the rings around the sticks looked like. I actually chose whether or not the sticks are concave or convex, whether they're domed or not. I chose the length of the sticks. I chose the color scheme of this little D-pad right here. I could have also chose the more like circular D-pad as opposed to the plus-shaped one. I chose to have all my buttons blacked out. I chose the color of all of this being gold because I just think it looks really good. And then I didn't get to choose the color of the sticks on the back, but that's okay because you don't really see them. So that is kind of everything I got to customize on this controller. You can choose to have the rumblers in or out of a Scuf controller like this. I personally chose to have them in because for certain single player games, I like having that rumble. I think it's cool. I think it adds to the game. However, you can always turn them off in the settings for something like Call of Duty, which I play with the rumblers off on. So go ahead and choose whether you want them in or you want them out. Choosing to have them out does drastically reduce the weight of the controller. That being said, the weight of this bad boy is actually significantly less than that of my other controller that I have upstairs, which is just a traditional white Xbox controller. The big reason why this one is so much lighter is this has a rechargeable battery in it right here as opposed to the AA batteries. So essentially you can save a lot of money by not having to buy AA batteries with this controller. And it's also really, really cool because you can charge it for 4 hours, which I know seems like a long charge time, but it's then good for 30 hours after that, which is a ridiculous amount of gaming. I mean, you could do a 24-hour gaming session on a charged controller and not have to plug it in once, which is just absolutely awesome in my opinion. So yeah, that is the basic controller, what it looks like, and the kind of things that you can customize on it. Now let's go ahead and see what else comes with this controller. So you can see the box. It might look like there's nothing left in here, but I promise you there is. You just kind of have to wiggle this little piece out right here. Comes out fairly easily. And then you get some stuff actually down here in this kind of little hole. So the first stuff you have is it comes in this little baggie right here. And this is probably the most important stuff outside of the controller. And the first two things, which are the least exciting things, is my controller came with two little extra thumbsticks. One is a domed, it looks like a domed long kind of stick, and then I have a non-domed, compressed little short stick. So both of these, they're replacement sticks. It's super easy to replace the stuff on this controller. As you can see, you can just pop this faceplate off, just like so, and it just kind of comes right off. And then you have this. It's just magnetic, as you can see that little magnet right there on the back. And then you can just pop these bad boys, these sticks off, and then change them out. Super easy. And if you ever like break a stick, you don't have to buy a whole new controller. You just buy a replacement stick or use one of the ones you have, slap it on there. Simple, cheap fix as opposed to buying a whole new controller. And then the two most important things are you have the little Scuf EMR tool right here. It's real tiny. This is a magnet, and it gets placed right here on the back of your controller, the Scuf Prestige, and it gets placed like right here. And the big deal with this is that this allows you to remap your Scuf controller, the buttons on the front, to these paddles on the back. So that is one of the big advantages of a Scuf controller over other controllers, is you can map anything on the front of this controller to these paddles on the back. And you do that by taking this little thing right here, sticking it right in that spot I had it, and then you hold down whatever paddle you want. So say I want it to be this paddle right here. I hold that down, and then for 1 second, I hold, say, a button on the front, press it, hold 1 second, let them both go at the same time, and now that paddle is mapped to whatever is on the front. For a game like Call of Duty, this is super, super nice because I can, like, say, map Y for the shields, say in Warzone or something like that, and then I can just hold that down on the back, keep both of my thumbs on my aiming and moving stick, and I never have to take my thumb off to press Y. It can save your life many times, especially in a battle royale such as Warzone. Then the other little tool that it comes with is right here. This little kind of screwdriver almost looking thing is used to be plugged into the back of these little holes right here on the back of the controller. I know it is very hard to see, but I promise you they're there. They just kind of slide in like so. As you can see, it kind of is in there. And you can tighten it clockwise, and it will make this controller compress smaller in order to kind of go ahead and for trigger fingers and stuff like that. So you can change how sensitive these triggers back here are depending on how sensitive you want them to be. Clockwise makes them more sensitive, and then counterclockwise loosens them up and makes them less sensitive. So in a game where you have like a Call of Duty where you have an FAL or a pistol and you want a really good trigger finger, this allows you to go ahead and have that faster trigger finger. So the next things that are in here are the least exciting things, quite frankly, and that's your kind of manual, the owner's manual that comes with. Nothing exciting, but it gives you all the instructions and detailed specifics on how to do the remapping, how to tighten the sensitivity on your triggers, all those kinds of things. And then you have actually this little small one which is specifically detailed to the EMR remapping. So again, that is everything that comes in the box with the Scuf Prestige. Again, this is kind of what it looks like, the controller. So far, I'm super happy with it. It looks really, really good. I love how the color schemes came out. It feels light, but not cheap, if that makes sense. So I'm super excited. I'm going to go ahead and go play with this controller for a few hours, and I will be right back to let you know my initial thoughts on how I feel about the Scuf Prestige. I'll see you in a second. Alright everyone, so I am back. I have played with this bad boy right here for a few hours last night, and oh my gosh, it is incredible. That is my review of this controller. It is absolutely incredible. Now, is it going to take you from an amateur to being a Call of Duty pro or any sort of first-person pro? Absolutely not. It's not going to change your ability to be good at a game, but it's going to level the playing field against some of the other players you will be going against. So basically, my review on this is you have the advantage that keyboard and mouse players have up here. Then you have controller players down here. What the Scuf Prestige and most Scuf controllers are really able to do, and what they're built to do, is lower and change that gap in between, the skill gap in between. So basically, keyboard and mouse, normal controller, Scuf controllers, and the Scuf Prestige falls in that category. The reasons why I say this is you have a controller format. It's something you're used to. It's something you're comfortable to. It provides the more ranged gaming away from your monitors. You don't have to be right up against them with a keyboard and mouse. But what it allows you to do is it gives you more buttons, and it allows you to have faster trigger fingers and more responsive gaming. Two things that keyboard and mouse players have way over controller players. For example, my trigger finger with the very sensitive triggers on here is significantly faster than it was on my old controller. The old controller on something like the FAL in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I could not max out on the RPMs, which was 500. I could not max it out. This Scuf Prestige, I could. So that's going to actually increase your, or I guess decrease your time to kill. It's going to make that gun better in the game. It doesn't make my skill any better, but it allows me to be more competitive with a mouse and keyboard player who has better tools to be able to have a better trigger finger. It allows me to compete with that keyboard and mouse player. And then the little paddles on the back essentially allow me to do the same thing. They allow me to keep my fingers on the aiming and moving, my thumbs on them, while also doing other actions such as picking up armor or jumping or doing any of those other actions that I want while not having to sacrifice movement and aiming while doing them. That's something that, again, keyboard and mouse players can do just easily because you have one hand dedicated to all the button pushes and one hand always dedicated to moving around and looking. So, is the Scuf Prestige going to make you a Call of Duty Pro or a pro in any other game? Absolutely not. However, it very, very much will help level the playing field if you're a console player against keyboard and mouse players, especially in a world that's going more cross-play. Scuf controllers are very, very welcome to a console player like myself. Now, it's no review without a knock or two against the controller. And so my two big knocks are, and this first one may be just something based on the game that you're playing that is built into the code or whatever, but right now it might be a little bit hard for you to see, but how far that you have to push this controller down. This is not the most sensitive the controller, this little trigger can get. You can get it where it barely moves at all. However, Modern Warfare has it where this is the most sensitive you can have it in order for it to actually pick up and aim down sights and fire. So I don't know, again, if that is a controller issue or if that is an actual like game issue. So they can go more sensitive on here, but the game will not pick up that sensitivity, anything more sensitive than it is right now. So just know that it is still way more sensitive than it was and than I was ever able to emulate on a normal controller. And the second kind of knock I have on this controller is the sticks that came with it, I'm not 100% in love with. If you play on normal sticks, on a normal controller, this is an upgrade, 100%. They are taller, which gives you more precise movement, and they have better grip than a normal controller does. However, I am a big fan of using Control Freaks. I've used them for years on my normal Xbox controllers. Control Freaks do not fit on these. They're just they're really close, but I can't get them to fit and stay on. And so the surface area of these is just a little bit smaller than Control Freaks. They're a little less like textured and able to, my thumb to stay on them. And they just get a little bit slick. If your hands get any bit sweaty, they will be a little bit slick on the controller, on these thumbsticks. So that is kind of my one big knock. If you could find Control Freaks maybe that would fit them, maybe if you tried not domed ones or maybe short ones or something instead, or maybe I'll try not domed ones. Maybe I'll put in this little kind of short bad boy and see if I like that better. So it is a knock that I am not 100% in love with the thumbsticks on these. However, they have so many other thumbsticks that you could have that it might just be worth trying some of those and and they're super cheap, so it's not a big issue. But overall, I am absolutely in love with this controller. It allows you to do so much as a console player that you would never be able to do without it. So that is my review and unboxing of the Scuf Prestige. This is an Xbox One controller, as that is what I have. However, they do make controllers for PlayStation 4 as well as make other Xbox One controllers. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful if you're looking into getting a Scuf Prestige. You saw in this video exactly what you get when you buy one, as well as a lot of the things that it helps you do, and a couple of the things that, as a longtime Xbox player, that it maybe falls just a tad bit short on. But overall, again, I'm super happy with this controller, and I hope you guys found the video useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, everyone.